I've been trying to talk to you about training leaders. That's the whole goal, being a mentor and training leaders. And I want to talk to you just a little bit about what it means to disciple and what it means to be mentoring people. And so what is true discipleship, or what is true training? You know, you have to define your terms. A lot of churches would say we are doing discipleship, and what they're doing is new church member material. It's what churches did when I was a kid. No one used the term discipleship, but then we kind of change the term. But I'm trying to teach you a whole different philosophy. I'm trying to teach you the idea that we would train men and women to carry the gospel message around the world, that we would be going much further than basic doctrine, much further than basic Christian living. We would be going on to train them to be involved in ministry. And so let me just give you a few of the things. Number one, it's life on life. And that means it's not something that can be done in a college classroom. It's not something that can be done in an academic setting. To be honest, it's not something that can be done in a pulpit and an auditorium. It's not something that can be done there. It's more done when you live life together and you're spending all the time with them and you're showing them unintentionally, but practically you're showing them everything. It's really what we saw Jesus do, isn't it? You know, Jesus didn't have a Bible college. He never sat people down and said, guess what? We're about to have a homiletics class, and so get out your notebooks, pull out your laptops, get out your iPods and take a bunch of iPads and take a bunch of notes. That's not what he did. What Jesus did was, let's just walk down the street and talk. Whom do men say that I am? Who do you say that I am? Bring me a coin. Let's look at that coin. Who's that? Whose image is on this coin? Well, then give to Caesar what's Caesar's and give to God what's God's. And so it was a constant ministry thing. It was him living his life and sharing his life with them. Now, it's not spending time together. Sometimes, you know, we watch a movie together, or we watch a ball game together, or we watch a Super Bowl together, and some pastor will say to me, I spend a lot of time with my young people, but I would say, what kind of time do you spend? What kind of time do you spend? Now, it doesn't mean that there ought not be some just plain or relaxed time. There ought to be some time when you just play sports. There ought to be some time when you just watch a ball game. Not a problem with that at all. But they ought to be watching you and seeing from you and hearing from you and learning how to live and do what God has called them to do. I call that life on life discipleship. That's what the Apostle Paul did. And the Apostle Paul's relationship with those students wasn't the relationship of a professor in a university. I mean, he could have never called, a professor in a university could never call a student in and say, I think I need to circumcise you before we take this next trip together. But Paul could do that with Timothy. And I'm not suggesting that you circumcise anybody. I am saying there's an intimacy involved. There is, I know you, you know me, I love you, you love me. And I'm here for you and you're here for me. Life on life. Maybe another way to look at it would be loving them like they're your family. Loving them like your family. You know what's really funny is you will do a different thing with your family if they do something wrong than you will with a young preacher. You are callous and unthinking and uncaring, but because the pastor's just a number on a page, he's not somebody special. But if it were your son, you'd have a different attitude. And don't deny that. Please don't deny that. I hope you would have a different attitude. I really hope you treat your son in a very special way, because he is a very special person. But what I'm calling on you to do is to treat the disciples like a son. Paul called Timothy his beloved son. And he wasn't his son. He didn't lead him for Christ, and he wasn't physically his dad. But Paul loved him like family. Paul loved him like somebody in his family. And so I want to just maybe go just a fudge more with you. This life on life, this loving them like a family, is you investing and pouring into yourself into another person. It is you teaching another person everything you know. But you got to do it in a way that comes across as I love you and I care about you, and not I'm being bossy or fussy, not I'm calling you out, but it's got to be I'm helping you. When you go fishing, I'm going to teach you how to put the worm on the hook. I'm going to teach you how to use the bait. I'm going to teach you all the things to do. I'm not going to fuss at you, say, you dummy, you don't know what you're doing. That's not going to be my attitude, because you are family, because it's life on life, and because I'm pouring myself into you. I am pouring myself into you. And to be honest with you, most missionaries have a little bit of a problem with that, because in some way they think of themselves as bigger and better than the national. Some way they begin to think, you know what? The nationals aren't that important. Well, that's biblically just impossible. That's not the way it should be treated. And I challenge you to think about that with me as we go into the next session tomorrow.